Welcome back to another episode of Learn with Shavern. So, on today's episode, we are going to talk about robotic dogs. Okay, so Boston Dynamics, if you guys recall, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. For those of you who have already been watching, Boston Dynamics came out with some more cool artificial intelligence, guys. They came out not with one, but two different robotic AI prototypes. The original one is called Spot, and the upgraded version or the remix is called Spot Mini. In today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Spot and Spot Mini and what they do, their functions, how they work, right? So let's jump right into it. So what originally sparked my curiosity on this, for whatever reason, I was Googling electronic dogs. Very random, I know. Just because I've been so curious, we've gone from the motion of having smart houses to now we're trying to not use fiat money anymore, right? And we're trying to use this cryptocurrency and do away with paper money eventually. I believe that's the whole purpose of that invention, or less rules of banking. I'm not sure. And then, we have all this smart tech that's out, from the smart belt to the smart glove for the people that need to communicate with somebody who is hearing impaired, to the smart shoes, to the smart house with the moving walls, right? We've been discussing a lot about these new technology, this innovative technology that's taking over. So Spot, let's start off with Spot. Spot is a four-legged robot for indoor and outdoor operation. They didn't really state in the article all of Spot's original uses and purposes, right? It just says for indoor and outdoor purposes. So let's assume that they're going along with that same thought process of helping the elderly or the youth, right? Spot is an electrically powered AI. It has hydraulics, so it has bendable parts, right? It uses LiDAR instead of radar, right? It uses LiDAR and stereo vision in order to detect things in its terrain. In addition to that, it also uses a suite of onboard sensors. So you guys will see the picture of what Spot looks like when I share the link below. But Spot has a screen for a face, and I guess on that screen behind in the background, right, all these little computation and things are working and so forth. So Spot can balance and negotiate on rough terrains regardless of where it is, which is interesting, right? Because the other day we were talking about the walking car and how they are designing it to overcome rough terrains. I don't know how many people they anticipate being stranded on mountains in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, that was the whole purpose for Spot. I guess I could see where it would come in as a rescue dog, but then what would we need the walking car for? Well, Spot operates for about 45 minutes with a battery charge, which is interesting because my iPhone definitely lasts a lot longer than 45 minutes with a charge. So I'm gonna need them to do better with Spot. Figure out something, make him last a little bit longer. Y'all got access to everything else. I'm pretty sure there's some type of ability to have Spot be solar powered somehow. Anyhow, they came out with a remix version of Spot, and they call this one Spot Mini. Spot Mini is a nimble robot that handles objects, can climb stairs, and it too can operate indoors and outdoors, for office spaces, homes, and so forth. Excuse me. Spot Mini is a all-electric AI, and it can operate unlike its big brother It can operate for about 90 minutes with a full charge, depending on what it's doing. I guess some activities will drain the battery a little bit faster or sooner than other activities, depending on what it's doing. Again, did not list. Very generic, very broad thing about what it mentions there about what it's doing there, right? So unlike its big brother, Spot Mini is the quietest AI that has been built by Boston Dynamics till this day. Spot Mini inherits all the same mobility as Spot, its big brother, right? With a few upgrades. It has the ability to pick up things. So when you guys see the photo for Spot Mini, you'll see the difference between how they look. So Spot has the screen for the face, as I said, and it kind of just looks like a table with bendable arms with hydraulics. That's kind of what Spot looks like to me, a moving table. Spot Mini, on the other hand, looks like a moving table with a additional arm. So there was a few videos on Spot Mini that I saw there. They call it the 5-degree freedom hand. Spot Mini also looks like a table with bendable legs with an extra arm coming off of its back. The cool thing about Spot Mini is that it can actually open doors. So this can be very useful for the elderly that are out traveling and maybe they have to go to some appointment or something, and the building that they're going to, maybe the door is like really hard to open. It's not very easy to pull open or whatever, or push open, whatever the case may be. Something that requires additional force and more energy than somebody's capable at a certain age and status that would have, right? So Spot Mini would come into use. Spot Mini would walk right up, use its little bendable arm, open that door for that person, and that person can go about his business instead of fighting with the door. Now, this would be interesting because what if everywhere had revolving doors? Then what would that arm be for? I don't know. But it also has beefed up perception sensors, right? So unlike its big brother Spot, which was their first prototype by Boston Dynamics for this type of AI, they upgraded its sensory perception, right? So its ability to be able to see over vast terrains, to be able to make that determination of how deep something is when it's stepping over it. I don't really know what other functions this the additional arm, the appendage that it has for Spot Mini. Besides opening a door, I really can't think of anything else when they have other robots that like shoot guns and stuff. So let me know what you guys think about this artificial robot dog. Check out the link below. I appreciate everybody's feedback and comments. I thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, becoming Patreons. Stay tuned for another episode of Learn with Shavern.